Hello and welcome to the Untitled Anarchist Seagull channel's Friday night chill stream following an absolute pain in the hole of a day. It's one of those days where nothing has really worked properly. So I'm going to try to relax a bit, and I think we might start out in the spirit of that with a bit of Geoguessr. How's my audio? Okay, we are in Scandinavia. You can tell from those dashed lines on either side of the road. I think Finland, actually, judging from that little shelter thing. Trying to figure out why it is I have trouble with the Bluetooth headphones. Okay. Haven't missed any signs, have I? Ah, there's a bin. Let's have a look. What does this bin say? It is not a talkative bin. For some reason, my video editor, DaVinci Resolve, decided... Oh, okay, those are council bins. Those are blurred out. Decided that today was the day that nothing was going to work. I wanted to get one very short video done and get a good start on another actually fairly short video where all I was really doing was putting English subtitles on something. And for some reason, every time I added for this first video a new animated title to show up on screen, DaVinci Resolve just decided to crash. It never complains about these things on this computer, but today it decided to just crash every single fucking time. I think I actually fixed it in the end, though it makes no sense. If my solution worked, it makes absolutely no sense, because I just cut down the amount of RAM that the render cache was taking up, but I mean, the RAM was not getting anywhere near maxed out to begin with, so who fucking knows. But I managed to get one done and then not really get very far on the other one. Yes, it's true, technology is very good at not working. Okay, come on. These people have to know where they're going, surely. Not even street signs for the cross street. That would narrow it down very quickly. Oh, hello. Brinkan. Okay, that is the least enlightening place name for these purposes imaginable, because it does not narrow it down between Sweden and Norway, because it doesn't have any of the characters that are specific to one or the other. Okay. Hello, Phoenix Rising. How are you doing? More or less. What? 2 link spammers at once? Fucking hell. I'm fairly certain it's not Finland, because you're more likely to find a Finnish place name in Sweden than you are to find a Swedish place name in Finland. When they do have them, they tend to be bilingual, like Oulu is also signposted as Öljobog. So my thinking is it's probably Sweden. But it could also be fucking Norway. Is Brinken does not have any of the special characters in it. There's no umlaut in it, which would narrow it down immediately. I've been getting a streak of uninformative... Oh, wait a second, was that... Hold on. Maybe there was a clue just then. No, that was just a little milepost. Okay, those are signs that I can't see. I will be showing you the one thing that I was working on, because it was actually something I was working on for this stream. I think that X on the sign... Yeah, I know, they look like signs that would have writing on them, but I couldn't get close enough to actually find out what kind of writing. It's actually an intro sequence that I was creating for this stream, so you will be seeing it. Especially after all the shit I went through to make this happen. As a whole lot of Bothans died in order to create this intro sequence. Which, in what, genre? What series? Oh, hold on. There we go. Vägskada. Road damage. We are in Sweden. Somewhere. Yeah, that works. 280 miles. Not too bad given what I was working with. Okay, this looks like North America. Yeah, this has to be North America. I think that that's just efficient headcanonization. Oh, wait, there was a fire plug? That could tell us whether we're in Canada or not. Because Canada has different fire plugs. not finding it. Take your word on it, though. Oh, yeah, that's a U.S. fire plug. Canadian fire plugs look like Daleks that have been on a reducing cure. Whereas U.S. ones, they look like R2-D2's grandfather. Okay. Definitely the U.S., but I've never seen this style of street sign in the U.S. Okay, we've got mixed commercial coming up. Mixed commercial is wonderful for Geoguessr. Weight limit class be reduced by 40%. Town of Brookfield. Commerce is community. That's their fucking motto? Commerce is community? That's like something that you'd find in a Ferengi residential subdivision. That's like a rule of acquisition or something. Oh, yes. The cabinetry. Oh, neat. But I haven't heard about DeviantArt in a very long time. La Macchia Group. Construction sites are dangerous, especially in this unregulated hellhole of a country. If the superintendent is not in the job trailer, please call him on his quote-unquote cell phone. Yeah, Brookfield immediately made me think New England. Please call him on his quote-unquote cell phone. What is it really? Is it like a vibrator that just happens to get Bluetooth or something? La Macchia. Okay. Milwaukee. Okay. I'm going to say that we're probably in Wisconsin then. Yeah. Belgium, Boltonville. Random Lake. That sounds like a description of something you see on Geoguessr. Okay, this Bluetooth speaker thing is getting annoying. I mean, headphone thing. For some reason it just keeps cutting out on me. Kansasville. I guess that indicates that it's not that exciting a town. That that's what they decided to name it. It's like Delaware City or something. I have not decided, but there is one thing. There's one that I created that we're going to watch. It's a very short thing. It's just an intro that I created. I'm going to be doing intros like this. Wait, am I looking at Brookfield on this map and not seeing it? Brookfield, ah shit, yes, thank you. North Calhoun, River, Burley Road, Burley Place, Juneau Boulevard. Well, I've got a couple. Tonawanda? Like Love Canal? All the way over in Wisconsin. Oh, come on. Yes, yes, I remember it well. Yeah, I know. Tonawanda, New York, up by Buffalo. It's where the Love Canal was. Yeah, I know it well. I mean, from hearing about it, because I lived in Buffalo for like a year when I was like 2, so I heard about these things like later on. And I think it was around the time that the whole Love Canal thing was going on. Oh, I'm looking at Green Bay, no wonder. I've only gone back to Buffalo a couple of times, and that's just been because that's where you change trains on the way to Toronto. Downer Woods. Ah, there we go, Brookfield. 2.9 miles, not bad. Bei Glatteis und Schneelage dürfen in Parkanlagen nur gestreute bzw. gesäuberte Wege begangen werden. We're in Vienna. That is an informative first image. I mean, just the color scheme tells you it's Vienna. I love Vienna. Yeah, I know. I never really went to Canada before that. Idiotes. Okay. Shoe service. Putzerei. Okay, I don't think the Geoguessr's ever taken me to Vienna. It's one of my favorite cities, actually. Well, a shoe repair shop, anyway. Shoe service. Ha ha. Schulweg. Come on, give me a street sign now. Vorsicht, Kinder. Leopoldau. Okay, that works. I had a shoe repair next, right near me. Yeah, the last place, well, no, the one before that, where I was living in Cincinnati. Okay, Leopoldau. Otterkring, Donaustadt. Favoriten, Schwächert. Leasing. Hietzing. Okay. Jubiläumsworte, Heiligenstadt, Leopoldstadt, Donaustadt, hier Städten. Langenzersdorf, Großenzersdorf, Langenzersdorf. Okay. Also. Well, we know it is in Vienna proper because there are City of Vienna signs, so it isn't in the bit of that is basically Vienna, except it's technically in a different state. Leopold 21. Bezirk. Okay, we know what district it is. It doesn't help me much. I've never really gotten a handle on where the different districts are. Floridsdorf? Is that the 21st? 21. Bezirk. Yeah, you're right. Rutnergasse, Abendgymnasium, Dariergasse. Okay. Oh, Heuriger. Oh, this is one of my favorite things about Vienna. They have these wine growers just out who they have they have their vineyards just on the edge of Vienna, and you can go in to these places called Heuriger, and they it's like light food, and they tap barrels of their wine, and it's absolutely delicious. And sometimes some people with an accordion come around and take requests, which is fun. Schwemackergasse. Justgasse. Caritas Wien. Trying to see if moving the Bluetooth adapter a bit closer to me helps with this issue I'm having with the sound cutting out. Grossbauerstraße, Loschmidtgasse, Siemensstraße. And 1.6 miles, not bad. Okay. Hanoi. The Daeun Hotel. Okay, first time they've taken me to Vietnam. Done. Seems pretty central. Let's see, we got any other landmarks? Wundao? Bia? The Atlanta Residences. Un café. One of the things that really gets in the way of my speaking Vietnamese decently is I have trouble with the tones. Not great with tones generally. Okay, we're just gonna go with 2.1 miles. Not bad. And 5 of 5. Oh, that's a U.S. neighborhood watch sign. I can tell that even in this really crappy resolution. Hello, Andromeda. How are ya? How's that CPU treating you? Oh god, all the res is completely fucked on all of this. Come on, you gotta give me... Seriously, my first Digicam, which was like 3 megapixels, took pictures roughly this good. I mean, what was the Google Street View van being chased by somebody that they couldn't sit around and let the autofocus do its job? Oh, that's annoying. Okay. Okay. This is like remarkably bad images. It's too bad there isn't a way they could like automatically weed this stuff out. Summer Hill. Okay, that's one legible sign in all of this. You can watch streams on a PlayStation? I had no idea that PlayStations could do that. Okay, this is giving me a headache. We're just gonna fucking guess. It's someplace US. Texas. It's fucking Texas. I am now a master tourist. Okay, now I'm going to show you the thing that I did my head in making today, because for some reason my video editor just was not feeling compliant. It's a short thing. I'm creating these sort of intro sequences. So here we go.
I'm sorry, I'm not very historically literate. Chile is a country. I don't give a fuck about it. Es ist historisch und wissenschaftlich falsch. Now, like all good Americans, I make a strong effort to avoid learning anything about any other countries. You guys didn't go far enough in harassing a queer woman of color. Racist against white people. This is a Nazi talking point, okay? I'm advocating for Biden. I'm almost like I'm an American who speaks English only. Ashkenazisch Juden.
Okay. Turn that off now. Yes, that video, which took all of like 30 seconds to watch just now, it was like 2 hours, and most of that was just because DaVinci Resolve kept crashing on me. I can think of lots of things I'd like to do with tweezers and Vosh. Oh, okay. We've got okay. I found a couple while I was finding the material for that montage that might be quite enjoyable, and I think I just fucked up the crop. Yes, I fucked up the crop just now. So we're gonna just move over to here so we can get it to where it needs to be. Forgot that I can't just adjust the size of these windows without OBS telling me that I shouldn't. Okay, there we go. I think that should be okay. So, we've got a couple of Xanderhole ones. I'm kind of leaning towards reviewing Destiny versus Bad Empanada, debating about genocide. And then we've got that time, apparently Tim Pool defended... Apparently, right-wingers are divided over Vosh. Not surprised, really. Tim Pool defended him. I'm not sure for what. And then Glenn Greenwald attacked him. Also not sure for what. But, yeah. We've also got covering... This is Fosh again. Covering Joe Biden's actually pretty okay speech to Congress. It would be interesting to see what liberal hellscape that is. Okay. We're doing it. And just let me know... Oh, I have to move this audio up now. Let me just make sure. Yes. Okay, that's good. Starting soon. Please stand by. Okay.
My balls kick into overdrive every time I hear it. Also, guys, camera look even better? Does the camera...
God, what did they dip him in mayonnaise?
Look even
He got
better.
whiter.
Because I turned down the exposure even more and turned the gain up. So basically there's two ways to make yourself lighter.
Yes, apparently. He's going for the, bleached out Edward R. Norton now.
On camera. Turning up the exposure or turning up the gain. The gain makes the light go up and doesn't really affect your frame rate. But exposure lighter. So I found the highest
I don't
frame
really
rate
give a shit about this. We're skipping it.
like working out. I haven't been working out. We did bleach my hair again last night.
No, yeah, we noticed.
It's so much more yellow than the front, and it's really, and so I like a lot of it into my hair dry, and again, my hair actually was able to handle.
Your hair is completely unremarkable, dude. We're skipping it. It's like, just annoying.
Brittany Jones asks, "Yo, is that song legitimately written to be his theme? Because that song in the website chat made a song for me, and yes, it is like the dude from Alan TV trailer is about to drop. No shot, no shot. Is it? Me?
I mean, okay, he has a budget, and this is like he did not think to just fucking edit this. Because what we're trying to find is reviewing Destiny versus Bad Empanada debating about genocide. Yeah, Destiny, as usual, being for it.
Like article saying young boys get myocarditis after they get the vaccine, and young girls actually...
Hold on. I wasn't even going for an... hello, Hail Satine. I've been kind of hoping we might see you in here. Always enjoy your comments. I wasn't even going for... You're right. I completely forgot about the American History X. I forgot he was in that. It's been that long since I saw it.
And I'm like... Dude, that's not what I just think he'd be better than Trump. And he's like, no, you love Biden. You think he's great. You think he's not an imperialist. You think he's not... And I'm like, dude, you are literally having a breakdown in my chat.
Okay, this is looking like...
I'm back when I lived in Florida before Biden had gotten elected. This is back during the... right after the primaries when we were kind of... It was... Biden basically had the nomination, I think. And I was living in Florida. And he came in my chat and started screaming... and demanding that I debate him on why he came in my...
Oh, hold on. Oh, we're missing something here. Sorry.
Destiny and Bad Empanada had a debate on the topic of Professor Flowers and the white genocide memes, I guess, and then apparently Infrared gets on or jumps into Twitch chat because Infrared hates Bad Empanada, which is... I would love to see Bad Empanada and Infrared fight. That would be hilarious. But, yeah, let's go ahead and watch this because this is going to be thrilling. Also, I'll know when the trailer starts because I'll hear it, okay? I will check one more time, and then after that, I'm banning anybody in the chat who says trailer started because I'll know when it starts because I've got it right fucking here. All right. Nobody say the trailer has started in the chat. I will know when it has started. All right, let's go.
It seems like you're just kind of like going for random gotchas here rather than actually engaging with anything that I'm saying.
I having watched the thing he's reviewing here, that is precisely what he was doing. Although that's pretty far in. Let me see.
Did you see they removed an entire character? Wait, are you talking about the trailers? Fuck, was that America Chavez? Yes, it was. That was America Chavez. Had a debate on the topic of Professor Flowers and the white genocide memes, I guess, and then apparently...
And okay, as far as I can tell, this is the first time one of them has been unable to avoid just outright saying that what Foch was promoting there was fucking white genocide, white nationalist bullshit.
Apparently Infrared gets on or jumps into Twitch chat because Infrared hates Bad Empanada, which is... I would love to see Bad Empanada and Infrared fight. That would be hilarious. But, yeah, let's go ahead and watch this because this is going to be thrilling. Also, I'll know when the trailer starts because I'll hear it, okay? I will check one more time, and then after that, I'm banning anybody in the chat who says trailer started because I'll know when it starts because I've got it right fucking here. All right. Nobody say the trailer has started in the chat. I will know when it has started.
Oh, what assholes. I still can't believe Professor Flowers actually hid behind asterisk, 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 Bad Empanada. Empanada, maybe? Nice misspelling of all people. Hid behind. He just raised the issue, for fuck's sake.
All right, let's go.
It seems like you're just kind of like going for random gotchas here rather than actually engaging with anything that I'm saying. So,
Is this?
how is it like? Okay, you don't understand. I understand. Like you understand concepts like subconscious racism.
No,
That's
okay,
essentially
hold on.
what this
Can I
is.
just, can I, like, let me,
Like,
hold
you're-
on. Can I,
something that you're taking
can I
for granted is being
rephrase what,
challenged.
I want to rephrase, it's not anything. You haven't challenged anything. I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. right?
Yeah, it is.
I'm
That's
gonna
like.
hold
Alright.
on. Because now you sound like you're trying to get a duck, okay? If you want to go by Nazi Germany all the time,
No,
that's
no.
fine.
If
Okay, do you want to talk to Haas?
what does he want to talk about?
I don't know, but he was screaming in my Twitch chat earlier.
He wants to debate about like who's the manliest man or something.
Dude, come on! Dude, Bad Empanada talks mad shit about me because I won't, like, have him on my stream to talk. I invited him on. He came into my chat one time back when I lived in Florida before Biden had gotten elected. This is back during the, right after the primaries when we're kind of, it was, Biden basically had the nomination, I think. And I was living in Florida and he came in my chat and started screaming and demanding that I debate him on why I think Biden is like a good president, or why Biden would be a good president or would be the best president or something. And I'm like, dude, that's not what I just think he'd be better than Trump. And he's like, no, you love Biden. You think he's great. You think he's not an imperialist. You think he's not, and I'm like, dude, you are literally having a breakdown in my chat. And he started freaking
See, I think we can be fairly certain this is not how it went just because Xander Hole is telling us that this is how it went. He has very selective memory, as we have seen.
out and saying I wouldn't debate him, and now it looks like he's dodging a debate with Infrared. Trailer was mid.
Who the fuck is
Did
Infrared?
it really actually come out?
Is Infrared somebody one would dodge a debate
I haven't.
with?
It's not up yet for me. Well, I'll know when it comes out.
This is a
I
whole
linked it.
expanded universe of chuds.
I can't even fucking drag links. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's watch this. It's a minute long.
I don't know who Infrared is.
I wondered what else is out there.
Oh.
There's wonders in this world.
Okay. Skip this, I think.
You know, Biden got elected, and people got burned out on politics, but it's been a whole year. It's been over a whole year. People are starting to get back into politics again.
Wait, only have 2 holes? Wait, he's a nostril and ear denialist? How's that? What the? 2 holes? How's that? Which ones is he saying women lack? Like, I mean, let me see. I mean, eyes, nostrils, ears, asshole. So, we've got 7. Like, how? 2? What the hell? That doesn't... Okay. He's using that infrared improperly if that's all the holes he's able to ascertain the presence of.
And, you know, left-wing people are getting a little bit more involved again. Doesn't mean I don't still think the right's going to end up being dominant online in the very soon future, but I do believe that, like, you know, we're
Yeah, the good point, Phoenix Rising. I don't remember seeing people... I don't remember seeing the left getting burned out by politics. I mean, let's remember that Biden getting the nomination, and in fact even getting elected, did not actually shut down the fucking protests. There was a response to it almost immediately in, I think, Portland, where there was a protest, there was a big march, they chanted, fuck Donald Trump, fuck Biden too, neither of them gives a fuck about you. I mean, he's not gotten...
to see the
an
left get a
Obama
little
type
bit stronger than it is now, but the right is just going to
honeymoon
fucking
period.
explode. That's what I'm calling.
At least a part of it.
I was watching the
Fun fact, in Chile, pendejo is largely used just to mean child.
You go to the defender.
God, what was it? It was Noah's video on Vosh's video on Professor Flowers'
okay.
video. I think is what I watched.
So you didn't watch her video? You want to talk to her about like her beliefs on this?
Yeah, videos are just like...
Yeah, that sounds like Destiny. I mean, he's really... See, the idea, I mean, it was ridiculous when Caleb Muppet group Destiny, who, like, basically nobody in BreadTube can stand and is politically just literally detests the online left and doesn't make any secret of it, as part of BreadTube. But on the other hand, he certainly fits in with the rest of the debate chuds.
Boring because I feel like people in videos aren't necessarily the same as when you're just having a conversation with them. And rather than like watch a video and be like, well, what about that or that or that, it's just easier to talk to somebody and have them just explain what they mean or think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like,
What
do you know about like just colonialism in general? Like, do I need to start from like the very beginning, like explain literally everything to you, like a Wikipedia article? I assume not, right?
Well, having seen a few people try to explain shit to Destiny, yeah, he kind of does need it from the very beginning.
Came and helped Jon Snow do something with the people. I don't know.
Yeah, basically.
When I hear colonialism talked about, I feel like broadly it refers to two things. One can be a form of like
I like what Destiny did here, where he's like, nope, I didn't do any research on it. Explain to me what colonialism is. Explain it to me. That is actually a good debate method. Sometimes you can literally just...
see, that, he's telling on himself right there. Because, I mean, he's saying that you should just go into these things completely ignorant. Which... See, it's great if you're trying to find some way to set up a takedown because somebody misspeaks while they're trying to give you a 101 course that they didn't expect to have to be giving you. It's great if you're doing that. But if you want to have an actual serious, enlightening discussion about a subject, it actually does kind of help to learn about it in advance. Like, if you're going to have somebody on who's a public person who has, is public about where they stand and has discussed it in great detail... it's just kind of basic respect to actually look at what they've said about the thing you want to talk to them about so that you can have a better conversation. But if you're interested in just takedowns, which is all he's interested in, then actually maximum ignorance is good. It's like how defense lawyers generally do not want to hear whether their client did it or not because it restricts their options. In Castilian, honestly, I have never heard pendejo used by somebody from Spain. In much of Latin America, it's like kind of a dickhead. But in Chile, you will often just say, in a very sort of neutral or even affectionate way, espérate un momento, me acaba de llamar mi pendejo. My kid just called. But they say pendejo. And it's one of the many Chilean things that freak out the rest of the Spanish-speaking world because it's like, you call them that?
Win a debate by asking your debate opponent to explain their position. You guys know that. It's actually one of the methods that Destiny employed in his debate against JonTron that worked out so well. It's what he usually does against conservatives.
Okay, here's another thing. First of all, there's a big difference between trying to out a white nationalist and trying to have a serious conversation with somebody about a subject. I mean, the JonTron thing, he's a white nationalist, he outed him. That was a good thing. But you can still do that if you already know what they have to say on the subject, if you've already done some basic homework about who you're talking to. You can still do that if that's the way you want to go. Yeah, I mean, it is, my Spanish is heavily biased towards Chile and towards Latin America more generally. So I could not say for certain that they don't say it in Spain, but I have literally never heard somebody from Spain say it.
Simply just asking questions about what the person believes and, you know, seeing where the ideals contradict and sort of force them to realize their ideals contradict in real time. And, you know, it results in some...
See, I mean, he's so telling on himself here, because he's explaining this is not about having a serious discussion, it's about manipulating people. This is cop shit, actually. I'm not saying he's a cop. I'm saying he does cop shit. Because this is exactly why you should never actually talk to the cops. Because they are trained in techniques like this to manipulate you into saying the shit they need you to say in order to drop you in the shit. And it's the same kind of manipulative bullshit that he's talking about right here. It's totally dishonest. And the fact that his... Let me see. Is an... Okay. Destiny's own Rust server. No, nobody's saying anything. Nobody's saying anything about it. Because they've cultivated this audience that they don't give a shit about any of this. What they want to see... I mean... It's pro wrestling. It could be about anything. They don't care about the subject. They want to see Xander Hall manipulate people into misspeaking, and if he doesn't succeed in doing that, then he just lies about it later. Though he's not as bold about that as his mentor Fosh.
Pretty funny outbursts sometimes, and I imagine if he keeps doing this to Bad Empanada, then he's gonna get really fucking mad.
Like cultural colonialism, so the idea that we export culture across the world, or something like that, that Western-centric views are prolific in media, entertainment, et cetera, et cetera. And then I hear like economic colonialization, so this might be in the form of exploitative trade deals, the IMF, or just like straight out like companies.
Well, that's more modern stuff. Like what I think we're talking about here is more like I guess like the stuff that you're talking about there, it's more like a adapted terminology rather than really having that much to do with it. But the colonialism that we're talking about in regards to decolonization, it's sort of like, think about like the initial colonization of the Americas, the USA, Australia, Canada, Africa, stuff like that. So much more direct rather than you using colonialism.
See, I mean, what gets me about this is, apart from the people who are just looking at this and being impressed by the sort of manipulative debating technique that Destiny is using there, apart from that, it just makes him look like a dickhead, because this is basic shit, and he has the sum of the world's knowledge at his fingertips. He could actually prepare. This is, I mean, that he would come up with definitions of colonialism, and not one of them involves settler colonialism, like the big one. I mean, that's, what the, how the hell do you not, I mean, that is not even something, I can't even with that.
Metaphor. And I guess hold on, I've made videos on this before, so I have like a definite...
Crazy that Destiny can game while debating. Well, to be fair, what he's doing right now in Rust is just random base management stuff and cutting down trees.
And plus, he's not really debating. He's just looking like a dickhead by not knowing what the hell he's talking about.
He's like running monuments or doing PvP, then yeah, he'd probably wouldn't want to be debating.
Definition sort of written up to sort of introduce here. The key thing is to remember here, calling someone like a colonizer is not an insult. It can be an insult, but it's not an insult by default, right? It's like describing sort of like
no, but it is.
That they have a societal relation. It's like calling someone working class or something, or bourgeois or something,
Or okay, so colonizer.
Okay, what's about?
Is a phrase very similar. So colonizer as a phrase doesn't necessarily have any moral weight to it on its own, not inherently. However, our society, and particularly the social spaces that we as, left...
Ah, shit, my Headphones are cutting out again.
Figures exist in have, you know, demonized those that we would consider to be colonizers quite a bit due to, you know, the horrors of colonization. So
So they've been demonized on account of all the genocide? I mean, what? Okay, they've been demonized. That doesn't sound like they've been demonized. It sounds like they did fucking horrible shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Would it help if we didn't say colonizer with a hard R? I like that. Yeah. It doesn't have any inherent moral weight to. I mean,
when you call someone a colonizer and you are on the left and you are aware, you know, at least I think we are all aware of what our opinions on colonizers are.
Okay, I'm gonna call this right now. By the end of this shit stream, he's going to basically come just short of, or maybe even go all the way and say that colonizer is a slur.
Then generally that word is probably being used insultingly. And in the context of Professor Flowers, and I have no doubt, Bat Empanada, well, I'm sure they believe that all white people are colonizers.
So a lot of people take it as an insult. A lot of people use it as an insult. I use it as an insult, but it doesn't mean that, you know, it always has to be one.
By that I mean,
that being a
literally,
colonizer
Professor
makes you a bad
Flowers said
person or
that.
whatever, you know?
Do you know what probably makes it sound like an insult?
That it's used as one?
Well, I think even I heard Professor Flowers say this. The act of colonizing someone is probably, I imagine we would both agree that it's an aggressive act, and usually when moral agents.
Oh, okay. So even Destiny takes a better stance on the concept on the moral weight of the term colonizer than Xanderhole. Xanderhole is actually to the right of fucking Destiny on this.
Take aggressive acts, some sort of retribution can be justified.
Okay,
So I
perfect.
think that's
Good
like,
argument.
So when somebody says like, "Oh, you're a colonizer,"
Thank you, Milky
implication
Milk
is that,
Rad.
like, I need to be
Or Milky
punished
Milked.
for it. Not me, but what we're talking about. So that would be my guess.
kind
I
of
think, like, ideally no one would want anything like that to happen, you know? Like...
Hey, any 43,
you know,
thanks for the raid.
It's the same sort of thing with, like, you know, I assume you know, like, a fair bit about, like, theoretical socialism. Like, no one...
He skipped over a whole bit here. I just realized it, because I just watched the full thing the other night, and he has this whole, he said, as Bad Empanada said, he has this whole thing written out so he can explain to dickheads like this, or people who are actually sincere about caring about this stuff, what it means. And what he explains is that it has to do with a fucking relationship. No, wait a second, he did say that. I just blanked because there's been so much other bullshit since then. It's been one of those days where nothing works, as I said.
Wants there to be, like, just...
Okay. Oh, okay, in chat he's already got somebody moving towards colonizer as a slur.
Worthless, like, for no good reason, punishments of people who used to be, like, bourgeois or something just for the sake of it.
What's the flag behind Destiny? It's not a flag. You guys see those little foam pads up behind me? The ones right over my head? Those things are little foam pads that you can, like, put on your wall to help deal with, like, sound.
What? He's caught on? What do you mean he's caught on?
Bouncing off the wall. It kind of, like, dampens it so you don't get as much echo. So the thing on Destiny's wall behind him, these things, that's just, these are little, I believe they're probably hexagonal.
I really hate to say... Okay, you link me to that. I want to see that, because... I mean, that's kind of neat. Okay, I really hate to say that I'm learning something potentially useful from this. Namely, is the reason that I stop at 1 o'clock here on this stream is that I've got people here who are trying to sleep, and the soundproofing just isn't that great. But if there are things that I can just sort of stick up, foam pads, that to absorb some of that sound, maybe I could do it later. I would actually enjoy doing it a bit later sometimes.
Little panels that he probably, like, put together in that, like, formation as a way to, like, not only look cool, but probably to, like, help with a little bit of the echo in the room.
But, you know, if these people were to, like, resist to the death or something, they wouldn't leave you with an option.
I don't
So
know, Thunder,
it's
thanks for
like-
$5.
Has donated $5.
Thank you. Completely off topic, but have you ever done shrooms? They're legal in DC, so I tried them a few times when I lived in Virginia.
Yes, I saw that. Thank you very much.
I've never done shrooms. I've never done acid. All I will... fuck it. I've done DMT.
Okay, that's a random question, but my favorite wine is a tie. Okay, it is a tie between Hvanskara and Brunello di Montalcino. Those are my two favorites.
DMT, all right? I've done DMT a number of times, a handful of times, one might say. And I've done it both from... The vast majority of the times I've done DMT have been from smoking out of a pipe. At parties and stuff like that. Like, if, like, hey, I got DMT, you want to try it? I'm like, yeah, I want to trip balls for, like, 15 minutes. And then I've tried it...
Yet another data point on this, to refute this idea that doing psychedelics automatically makes you a decent person. Well, I mean, it's just on the Metro.
It like a couple of times out of a vape where somebody like dissolved it into some nicotine-free vape juice, and then you can like hit it. Not pleasant. Not pleasant. It's not good. But yeah, I've done DMT, which is a hallucinogen, and it's pretty damn strong, and that was pretty fucking crazy. I don't know if I want to do shrooms though, because like if you do shrooms, you're tripping balls for the rest of the day. If you take DMT, you know, you're only tripping balls for 15 minutes. You know, you can survive anything for 15 minutes.
15 minutes seems like a really awkward amount of time to be tripping balls. I just have to say. As somebody who has never really done any of this stuff, that seems like just an awkward amount of time to be tripping balls. Yeah, it's like a half hour would seem to be more reasonable. Well, I'd imagine it would depend on what sort of medium you ingest it in, because it could end up acting on the gut for a fairly extensive time, depending on what sort of, you know, what you've dissolved it in.
Like, your entire perception of reality crumbles, and you can't understand what is and isn't real. Well, you know what is and isn't real in your head, but, like, you can't...
DMT is dialectical materialist tetrahydrocannabinol, just to be clear.
Can't tell, in the sense that, like, you can't look at it and tell. You can, like, tell...
Well, when you're ingesting something, like, whether it's some THC, whether it's fucking, you know, psilocybin, where it's any of that stuff, it will end up in some sort of a medium, usually the medium being at least partially what you most recently ate. But also, in terms of, like, if you're doing it in vape juice, for example, if you're doing something in vape juice, that's a medium, and that will affect how it acts on your gut. And that's going to, and anything like that will affect the duration of action of any kind of substance, whether, I mean... there's a whole literature in in the field of pharmaceuticals about like what sort of mediums you put active ingredients in, if you want to get it, if you want it to be a sustained response, if you want it to be a delayed action, immediate action, short acting, and shit like that. It has a lot to do with what it's suspended in or dissolved in or whatever, or, you know, temporarily bonded with when it hits your gut.
Well, because you're still, when you do DMT, you are not high as in you're like, ha, 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 yeah, man, let's go. Like, I don't know if Vermin is here. Vermin, are you here? Nah, they're not here. Well, I did promise Vermin that I would hold off on trying edibles for the first time until I hang out with them in person, because they wanted to see me try edibles for the first time. So I've held off on that. Here, really quickly, we're actually at a mighty $82, by the way, in the dono goals. So if you guys want to keep pushing it and help us get higher, then feel free, because we might actually get into the Shadow the Hedgehog onesie today. Cocaine. All right?
I'm just trying to find the bit where we get back to what I was actually Because I honestly don't really give a shit about his drug
I did
experiences.
2 key bumps of coke once at a party. Not long time ago, but well over.
Yeah, okay, his hair already makes me, I mean, there's just something about his entire presentation that immediately makes me say, yeah, he's a guy who'd probably be into blow.
At least, other than like someone who thinks colonialism was a good thing, would agree that like decolonization, as in, you know, places that are under like colonial rule, or that either direct or that like, you know, are ruled by the remnants of like.
Listen, Ricky, all I'm saying is there are places on the internet that sell Mimosa histilis root bark powder online in large quantities for the purpose of making soap and dyeing clothing purple and red. So that's all I'll say.
A former colony, for example, South Africa was, for a good example that everyone knows. Like fighting against that is pretty much unambiguously like making you in the moral right.
What does it mean to fight against that, though? Like how? Like let's say
to,
we have a
well,
decolonial
to use an
attitude,
example.
like the modern day, like what would be a way to fight against?
Well, to use a good example, you know, South Africa is another good one. So, you know, apartheid ended in 1991. The struggle against apartheid was definitely a decolonial struggle. You know, it might not have ended in like the best way it possibly could have, but it was definitely like a decolonial struggle, as in it was a struggle against this system that was set up by a group of people who had come to South Africa a couple hundred years earlier, sort of.
Hey, Chris Raygun, how you doing? Keep shrooms under 4 grams and you'll be fined or so, I have heard.
Yeah, one note, he actually was 3 years off with the date. It ended in 94. 91 was sort of the beginning of the end, but it actually didn't formally end until 94, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing with shrooms is that, like I said before, like everybody in my family...
Is he just gonna talk about fucking shrooms for the rest of this thing?
My uncles, specifically, and I react to drugs about the same way as they do. So, like, that's generally the...
As in, it's a good distraction from a discussion that you have nothing to contribute to and will end up making an ass of yourself. Yeah, I mean...
with them when it comes to medications or anything like that, when it comes to, like, oh, here's a medication, am I allergic to it? Let me ask my uncle is. Pretty good bet not to try it if my uncle is.
Getting rid of that sort of system of like formal legal dominance.
Would you guys watch me like stream Rust instead of Doom while we do like debate reviews and stuff like that?
Okay,
I'm curious.
What is Rust? Yeah. He is seriously... He is just so fucking dodgy. I mean, the whole idea of monetizing your ex-fashionist... Yeah, I figured... I know it's a game. But what do you do, apart from apparently sort of move around inventory?
Because Rust is one of my favorite games of all time, and it's so fucking fun. So if you guys were fine with me, like, doing, like, debate reviews like this while playing Rust instead of Doom... Hearing you'll play Doom makes me want to play Doom, and I like Doom, yeah. I'm here for the debate review.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for him to say some more whack shit apart from... as opposed to this just boring shit. I really don't... Okay, yeah.
Sort of, where rather than...
Scalicopter, thanks for the $2.
A colony being formed to just extract resources, wealth, etc.
Yeah, can I dim you some juicy BE mask slippage? Ooh, sure, you can, Scalicopter. Send me some bad up and out of mask slippage. You'll love that.
Or it's either formed for the explicit purpose of, or ends up turning out.
And yeah, of course, there's plenty of fucked up shit that he has occasionally said. And it's like, it's weird, because there are like some things that he... okay, a survival game which assigns you a random character. It's just sort of like life, then, basically. It's... life with a better overview of your inventory. I mean, it's like there's some things he definitely just really gets straight up right, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff that he just totally fucks up. And he occasionally does say some pretty fucked up things in those situations, and it really annoys me. I mean, it's just fucked up in the first place. but it's like, I would like to be, it makes me, as somebody who does not do as much writing or as much video essaying as I would like to, because I have a very long sort of gestation period when it comes to my ideas and how I want to express them, I am actually always relieved when somebody beats me to it and comes up with a video on a subject that I wanted to do one on, that says everything that I felt needed to be said and does a good job of saying it, that I can just kind of recommend, because I'm not short on ideas. I have hundreds of fucking ideas for things that I would like to do, and a print essay or a video essay, doesn't really matter, on. And every time he moves on and goes on his bullshit, on as opposed to doing the really well-researched stuff he also does, I feel worse about recommending the actual decent stuff that he's done. And I wish he'd stop doing that.
As, like, its own sort of thing, right? Like a place where lots of settlers go.
Xander Hall, would you agree that good people sometimes do or believe bad things, and that the origin of their beliefs and their context should be considered when asserting their personal character or how we treat them? Yes, Kevin Thompson. That is actually something I've noticed that I don't think a lot of people on the left are capable of doing, and frankly enough, this is also a criticism I have of Destiny, ironically enough, right? So, there are a lot of people, I feel like, that will see someone say like a dumb or wrong political opinion online and then immediately ascribe all of these like really crazy like moral notions to that, you know?
Oh, you mean sort of like you and Vosh do every fucking time that I open up your stream. Like how Vosh decided to claim that Professor Flowers wanted to exterminate Jews for absolutely no fucking reason. You mean like that? That's sort of bullshit. Is that what you're talking about, Xander Hall?
That maybe don't exactly apply. You see this a lot in like the woke school sphere right now. You've been seeing
okay, thanks. Some Ben Shapiro original terminology there.
A lot of posts saying like, why should we allow ex-Nazis to be on the left, right? And, you know, the argument...
well, and it's a valid fucking question, especially, I mean, and I say that as somebody, I mean, people do change. I don't think it's necessary, I don't think it's common, particularly in this particular, in this particular context. It would be much more common for somebody to be full of shit about it, and claim to have changed, and not really, you know, sort of like this, decorative asshole that we're looking at right here. But, yeah. I mean, he just needs to shut the fuck up on this subject specifically. I mean, because every single thing I've ever seen him say on the subject of ex-Nazis and the left is just designed to make the left a safer space for Nazis, which we should not. I mean, I feel that I should be just very specific about that. We should not be doing that. It's already too comfortable for Nazis. I mean,
I would make is because, well, ex-Nazis heard every argument and every bit of propaganda and every...
Oh, he's going on this bullshit again.
Misrepresented, convincing argument the Nazis have, you know, threaded together in order to sort of radicalize people into their movement. And yet they still heard all of those arguments, found out that they were wrong, were...
well, you see, and yeah, he's so impressed that people who initially bought into that shit and hurt people on the strength of their belief in that bullshit eventually came to realize that it was bullshit. Except that, you know, the thing is, there's a whole group of people who also who also came to the conclusion the stuff was bullshit, which is most people who have ever heard their bullshit. I mean, this is like, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it's one thing to talk about, you know, people who have had to shed beliefs that are absolutely dominant. You know, liberalism is an example. You know, we're all inculcated in liberalism from birth practically, so shaking that off isn't easy. And it's quite another thing when you're talking about people who eventually realized they were wrong to believe some bullshit that most people heard and said, "Ooh, what the fuck is that? Get that away from me." And we're supposed to be impressed with the fact that eventually, a few years in, and how many fucking people they hurt in the meantime, they eventually said, "Oh wait, this is bullshit." Let me, on the strength of recently having noticed that the Nazis are wrong, start a monetized stream where I lecture leftists.
Able to reconcile the fact that they were wrong, admitted they were wrong, changed their opinions, and have changed for the better. And not to mention, these people that were once conservatives or Nazis, etc., once they're like lefties, now not only do they know, hopefully, a lot of left-wing talking points, but they know the right-wing talking points too. You'll notice that, you know...
Yeah, I know a lot of right-wing talking points too, having never actually bought into any of them. I mean, he seems to think that the only way that you can be exposed to right-wing propaganda is if you initially buy into it. I mean, when in reality, most people hear a lot of this stuff and they dismiss it out of hand because it's just fucking... It's just obviously bullshit.
No, I do debate a little differently than most people who've never been a conservative debate before.
To me, I don't even think it's the bare minimum. I think it's less than the bare minimum. To me, the bare minimum is you hear some fascy asshole, some white nationalist, you know, Rush Limbaugh, or, you know, any of those motherfuckers talking, and you say, "Oh, wow, that sounds like bullshit. I'm gonna just check that out to be completely sure. Oh, wow, it's bullshit. That guy sucks. Fuck him." That's the bare minimum. Yeah, I mean, you're slightly less than the bare minimum if you actually bought into it in the first place. Yeah, I wouldn't brag about debating like a conservative either, because they're dishonest. It's all just manipulative, dishonest bullshit that you have to engage in when you don't actually have the facts or morality or, you know, just general human decency on your side. I mean, you don't have to set all these fucking clever rhetorical traps if you actually know shit.
Because I try my best to tailor my wording in a way that wouldn't immediately cause, well, I imagine my teenage self, right? I imagine my teenage self is listening to every word that I say, and I'm trying not to say anything that might trigger my teenage, like, reactionary self.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that... See, that is an indictment that I could have expressed, except he has gone and expressed it himself. Because it's true, I have not heard anything that he has ever said that would possibly even slightly offend Fash. They would be... I can't imagine that there would be very much at all that they would be fundamentally disagreeing with in this, or that they would even object to.
And cause my teenage self to stop listening. What sucks is Joe Lewis thinks ex-Nazis shouldn't be allowed in left-leaning spaces. Yeah, Joe Lewis has said some really stupid stuff. It's sad because I think I've seen him do some pretty like good debates and like say some pretty smart shit too. But like he doesn't like me very much from what I can tell. And
no, well, that's okay. I've never heard of Joe Lewis, but go on with you, Joe Lewis. Good on Joe Lewis. That's two good things I've heard about Joe Lewis.
He has said some dumb stuff having to do with like ex-Nazis being on the left. I can understand if you're a person of color and you're on the left and you feel uncomfortable with people who once believed that like you were inferior racially speaking, like,
and maybe engaged in violence against people who look like you. And maybe have now decided to monetize the fact that they claim now to be over it. Like, I mean, God, this guy.
Uncomfortable with being around people like that. I guess there's a level of, like, understanding I can offer in that direction, but, like, we're talking about X not. These are people who believed that and don't anymore, right?
Well,
Like,
by Xanderhol's standards, let's note, because I mean, and his standards are you could call yourself an ex-Nazi and still kind of believe anti-Semitic shit. We saw him endorsing the same Nazi talking point that Foch was endorsing. You can buy into white nationalist shit, pretty explicit white nationalist shit. Like, I don't remember him calling out Foch for his white genocide tangent he was on. And in fact, he actually used those words earlier in this fucking stream. Yeah. This is like this is the standard of ex-Nazi we're supposed to welcome to the left? I would leave a pub that let him in.
Like, I feel like it's kind of purity testing, is it not, to like decide whether or not like somebody who once believed a thing should be forgiven, especially if you never knew that person when they once believed that thing.
Why does it matter whether you knew them? So they were involved with fuckers who engage in racist, transphobic, homophobic, etc. violence. And he thought that was a good thing. And then he eventually said, oh, wait, maybe that's not a good thing. And why does it matter whether I knew him or not? Of course, if I knew him at the time, I'd probably have had to, like, physically fight him off. So, I mean, I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. The point is, yeah, I mean, we already went through all this crap, so it's kind of, it's actually kind of convenient that he's giving me something that I've already responded to, because I don't have to think it up. But, I mean, he just does not seem to acknowledge that it is more than just a fucking belief, that being fash actually hurts people, that there is some kind of amends you have to make, and that people have a reason to distrust you just on the basis of having committed that extremely rare and absolutely just massive failure of political and moral judgment.
Majority of the ex-Nazis referring to were just teenagers on the internet who watched YouTube videos at the time. They didn't actually, vast majority of the time, weren't actually doing any real material harm to the world. They just believed bad stuff. Like, yeah, anyone
based on what exactly? I mean, that's a very convenient thing, because it's like at the same time, during that that debate that we listened to, a few months back, everybody here was, I think everybody who was watching right now was there for that. And he was saying, and every time the guy who, Jesse is his name, he's actually shown up in chat here a couple of times, and he was saying, and he was sort of suggesting that maybe that Xanderhol wasn't as much of a Nazi, that he was just an edgelord or whatever. I mean, and I don't know actually enough about his background to weigh in on that debate, but but I'll take him at his word when he says that what he was doing should not be trivialized, except that now he's trivializing it in the interest of suggesting that the left should be a fast-friendly space.
Well, ex-writer I am. Yeah, a pillow in chat is black, and he's an ex-alt-writer. Like, you can literally, like, there isn't a barrier based on your identity.
I think okay, and what does the pillow say? I think people's issue with ex-Nazis is the fact that they think that it's only white people that can be ex-Nazis. What? No. I mean, yes, you have to be a particular kind of fucking dickhead to join a white supremacist movement when you are not even meeting their fucking criteria for supremacy. I mean, I don't even see, that's just masochism. But I don't think that's anyone's problem with it. Their problem is they don't trust them, and there's every reason not to trust them, and Xanderhol is a good example of why you shouldn't trust them easily.
On your political beliefs. Now, your political beliefs can be pretty you know, can be determined pretty well by your race. You know, that your race can be fairly deterministic sometimes, but or your gender, your identity broadly, but like it isn't like the be all end all, right?
Oh, and you know they want to stay permanently, develop settlements in their own society, etc. But that alone isn't really it, right? Like, you know, if they did that, you know, without like subjugating the people who already live there, like with some sort of non-coercive agreement, wouldn't be much of a problem with
Guys,
it.
I'm not kidding. This is really making me want to play Rust again.
Settler colonialism is when they do that, and they supplant and replace the pre-existing society rather than sort of fusing with it, becoming a part of it, or anything like that. And that sort of creates a sort of different sort of social relation.
Rust really is a
where
drug.
We have two groups of people.
Hard to start,
You know, like,
much
you can
harder
call
to
them for
stop.
this purpose, like, I guess
Just like
settlers,
heroin.
colonizers or whatever. And the previous group of people, who you could call like indigenous.
Okay, he's really not. He hasn't got a whole lot to say at this point. Now that Bad Empanada's just schooling him on what settler colonialism is, which is the sort of thing that if you're going to be doing this sort of a discussion, you could spend a couple of minutes looking it up. I mean, it's not hard. There's a lot of stuff written on it. I mean, this idea that you should go into these discussions as ignorant as possible. I mean, that's great advice if you don't really care about the outcome of the discussion as long as it means you win. And that is all these. I mean, they don't give a shit about any of this stuff. Although, I mean, I think their outrage at anti-racism, their belief in the importance of maintaining white supremacism is sincere. They seem to be really outraged at the very idea that that could be challenged. But other than that, I don't think they give a fuck about any of this. It's just about winning. And if they can win with some Nazi shit, they'll win with some Nazi shit. If they can win with the facts, they'll win with the facts. But the Nazi shit is easier because it doesn't require you to look up any facts. So they'll win with the Nazi shit. Just the standards of these fuckers. The standards are just so bargain basement. And with that thought, we are 2 minutes short of 1 a.m. So we're going to be wrapping it up tonight. Thank you so much to everybody who has come. Thank you to Hail Satine for showing up. I was really kind of hoping I'd see you in chat one of these days because I've always enjoyed your comments. Good to see you. I hope to see you. I'll be here tomorrow again, same time. And, okay. And we'll continue with this, and we'll see Xanderhold just sort of talking about drugs and Rust instead of trying to engage with an actually fairly thoughtful contribution from Bad Empanada that is completely just unappreciated by Destiny, who, among other things, let's remember, is a defender of Kyle fucking Rittenhouse. I mean, I wouldn't give him the time of day. I mean, that's discrediting enough as it is. But, yeah, I mean, he's a... but there we go. Anyway, it is 1 a.m., so have a good night, everybody. Hope everybody's CPU backer screws do the right thing, and I hope to see you tomorrow night after what I hope will be a somewhat less crappy day than this one was. Good night.